activate your spiritual body. Many years ago, I was in Vancouver, British Columbia, and out on a balcony overlooking this Lion's Lake. There's a big lake. Beautiful, beautiful. And I was wearing shorts and a little, bathing suit top, I believe, something like that. And I was just sitting out there in the sun, and all of a sudden, my body was different. As I looked, and it was a golden, with a little chocolatey brown, with a tad, just a rich golden. And there were no lines in the body, it's perfection in every aspect. And I closed my eyes, and I opened, and there again. And it was so magnificent. And you know how things happen at different times in your life where you get an opening of the divine. It's like a window into the spiritual realm. And it wasn't a projection in a sense, because I didn't have that. I was given the opportunity to perceive my spiritual body that people call a light body. Well, we emanate light. You're not light. And you hear that this universe created from light and sound, and sound is that sense of, in a sense of movement, or vibration that is moving the fabric in a sense, and you hear a sound like that. So, and the light also can cause a prism, because it's also divine light shown through a prism, which causes this particular color spectrum. And this is part of the artist's tools that are creating this reality from imagination, you might say that. Or and where do you get your ideas? They have to always come from the original. So a copy always has to have an original, or a simulation, or a hologram, or that sort of thing. It's not the original, just like you are an original. But what we tend to do is, in not knowing who we are, is we make up who we are, all the word, and then you think about all the words that you identify with. And when you identify with that, then, like say you say daughter, okay, then what does that mean? Okay, well, whatever you've been trained to think that means, then you have to act that way, because that's the role you have to play, because you have to act like the daughter. And yet there's an ideal way to perform that function, which is to respect your parents, and deeply appreciate and always give to who and what gives to you. Yeah, I mean, this is our nature. And yet, even who we are gets clouded by all the beliefs that we have and all the programming. So when you believe you are just this physical body, then people say, oh, they're getting ready to pass. They're getting ready to leave. They're going to leave their body. Oh, they're sick, and it's because they're old, and they're just, all these beliefs. That's all they are. You're a free spirit. You are a divine entity. You always have free will. Always have had free will. And what happens too when people put foreign things into the body that can also affect the brain and the functions and a person, you have to get, it's what people say, well, you don't want to forget. Well, maybe you do and you don't. But when you know who you are, you don't believe the mind or the programming or the role you're playing, or any of those kinds of definitions that are trying to define you. You are who you are, who is a loving, and loving does not mean less. Hate's not the opposite of love. Fear, for sure, is not the opposite of love, because that's trying to elevate fear as to a power when we have no fear. And that fear is a generated program from I always have said that the body's been tampered with than a reptilian brain sort of a thing, kind of a thing. So what you're really looking at is a distortion of human. And if we really look at who we are, maybe human is a category. And in the Vedas it says there's, 400,000 different species of humanoids in the universes, or what's possible. So that's really interesting. Many different kinds of humans. And we can notice that also in our own lives. But we have all the same things in common. We have compassion. We have caring. What really love means. And we're all endeavoring then for the welfare of all living entities. For people to take off their blinders. To really bring forth who they are. And so to activate your spiritual body, you have to know that you have a spiritual body and what that's about. And that's why I love you studying of course, being studying Yeshua of the Essene, of the Essene Gospel of Peace. Very, very good. Some of the Gnostic things, but you need to be a researcher, not be just taking and believing what people have told you, but to then open your mind and be willing to break those belief systems because you want the truth. And the absolute truth does exist, and it's actually who you are and who I am, all of us. And so when you activate your spiritual body, that means when you know you have a spiritual body, and that spiritual body is who you are, you do not believe the thing of the void and you're here and you're there and all this, because they're always describing the material realm and some other thing, like a sci-fi movie, and everybody's, I get caught up in it, going out to outer space. You're not even here. What are you going to do in outer space? They got a fast food restaurant out here. Where's my TV? Now you're just out there in outer space. You found another place you can get to. Hey, it's always you. I think of all the places I've lived and all the places I've been in this incarnation, and it was always me there. And it was always me just being. And however it is that we're using that, most of it are relating to this temporary physical body, to the false ego that we have manufactured. You need an ego identity, which is I'm a spirit soul. And whatever, so then people want to get away from God because the God that they've been teaching is a psychopathic God. Well, it's not my God. And what does a God mean? It's my source. It's not who I'm giving power to. It's what I'm receiving power from, that I am part of. And as I acknowledge that in the gratefulness, when that book was in my hands, in that same moment, when I desired that book and I thought, yes, I gotta have that. It's there. I was like, wow. That happens all the time. So when you really get to it, you are an instant manifester. And you want to manifest. It's not manifest. You don't need to create. You have a spiritual body. And it's almost like this other was like a flesh thing, like a fabric thrown over our subtle body of concepts of who we are. But beyond that and before that is how beautiful and magnificent you are already. And you have to be then true to that self. And act as that self, and be as that self, and acknowledge that self, and do that study and that work and that breathing meditation to center you in yourself. Yes. So anyway, activate your spiritual body now.